Welcome back to Returns. We got a fun one today. It's Oskar Blues Old Chub. All right. Despite the interesting name here, we've got a Scotch Ale for I think the first time on the channel. This was canned on March 20th, 2022.
Oh.
So this is
pretty old.
Yeah. And in case you were wondering, like, what's this name about? The bottom says, not old, but experienced.
What does the Chub have to do with anything?
I'll let you figure that out at home. We both took a peek at the ABV. This is a massive 8%. So not having had Scotch ales, I'm going to assume they're just bigger ales here. If we refer to the chart, we go ale, pale, and then Scotch right there.
Ooh. Oh, Old Chub's on there.
Oh, it is.
Huh.
On the chart.
That's funny.
Yeah, this should be interesting. I don't know a lot about Scotch ales.
Yeah, so my boss gave me this beer. He is very much into like German beers, lagers, pilsner, stuff like that, lighter beers. I don't necessarily trust his judgment. He is a little more wealthy, so he has the money to spend on beer. That doesn't mean that he has a good palate, but that's where this came from. I didn't go out and buy a Scotch Ale. You didn't either. I have no idea what it is.
But we're always happy to be gifted beers.
Exactly.
I've had a couple things from Oskar Blues. They've been okay. So I haven't really had a Scotch Ale that I can remember. Those will be interesting.
I really like this can art. I like the plaid. I like these colors. Old Chub is just, I'm sure that has something to do, like a Chub in Scotland or something, or Germany or something. I don't know.
There's also fish such as the Lahont and Twee chub, which are called chubs.
Let's drink this beer.
That's enough talking. Let's get to drinking. All right, I'm excited to get to it. Our first Scotch Ale.
Should we look up what a Scotch Ale is?
You certainly can.
Oh my god!
Caramel color.
I didn't think it was going to be this color.
Caramely and dark. You know, when I see 8% and it's not an IPA, my mind immediately thinks this is going to be dark.
That looks so gross.
While you're looking it up, I'm going to go to the nose.
That looks disgusting.
It's a little malty and a little sweet smelling, actually. Kind of like caramel.
Scotch ales are an esoteric style of beer known for their super malty, rich caramel flavors and boozy ABV. Think of a Scotch ale like the bottom log on a fire, simmering and smoldering. What the? Who wrote that?
So what did I just say? I said malty, caramel.
Okay, so it's a Scotch ale, or Wee Heavy, is a style of beer originating in Scotland that is fermented with ale yeast. Generally low in bitterness with rich malt sweetness, the caramel-colored beer often uses a pale malt base backed by darker malts.
Ooh,
Although it can vary, many are comparable to English barley wine.
That explains the big ABV, like I said, and why it's a kilt pattern on the can.
But what Chub? What Chub? But what Chub? Oh.
Kind of. I see what they're talking about.
It tastes like a Chub?
It's like, it's not as strong as a barley wine, but it's got that bit of sweetness. It's got a little bit of that caramely note that I would look for in a barley wine. And this one just is not, obviously not barrel aged.
This reminds me of a lager, or I don't know, ales, lagers, whatever. It's not weedy or anything, but the taste reminds me of a lager, but then it's gone. The taste is gone. Like, it's there for a second, and then I swallow it, and it's like I just drank water.
Well, it did say it uses those pale malts backed by those darker malts, and I think the darker malts are covering up that usual beer taste that those pale malts can give out. Because to me, it has a little bit of that barley wine that you mentioned, but it also has a lot of the darker malt character, which I love, which are in your dark lagers and your dark beers. This is really interesting. I think I kind of like this.
I'm not a big fan of this. It tastes, I don't know, it's like dark. I get the dark malts. I get that, but it tastes soapy like a lager or I guess.
The bitterness, do you think?
I have a problem because I think lagers and ales are the same thing, but they're not.
They're not.
They're obviously
two different
totally
families.
different things, but I think the problem is all lagers and most ales, the flavor profile is so subtle for me that I just lump them together.
Yeah, I would agree with that in some cases. There's been some times where I'm like, oh, this tastes like this tastes like this, and they're a little different. But
this tastes a little soapy like lager. They are lagers. They taste a little soapy like lagers, but I can get the darkness and then nothing.
I think it's delicious, and honestly, I feel like I can't taste the ABV at all.
Oh no.
Like, I mean, I've tasted 8% like IPAs and stuff, and they're like, oh, I can taste the alcohol in here. This, I cannot taste it.
No.
This is really good. I can see this being something because I know Oskar Booze is fairly available, at least near us. I'll drink this again.
This is not a summer beer, though. It's kind of a little bit not heavy with the ABV, but the flavors are dark and like they're
So yeah, I feel like Scotch Ale would be something you'd have more in the colder season.
Yeah.
However, we do have AC, so crank that up and get me some more Old Chub. Rating wise, what are you thinking?
3.
I mean, I think our ratings are going to reflect how you feel about this, what we've said. You're giving it a 3. I'm going to give it a 4.25.
Oh wow, you really like this.
I like it a lot.
You can have the rest. Yes. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. I'm impressed. I think this is better. I believe I had Oskar Blues 1050, which is their Imperial Stout, and I think I like this more.
Really?
But I have to re-review 1050 because I don't think I've ever put it on the channel. But I've had it before.
1050.
Yeah.
How do you spell that? F-I-D-D-Y?
F-I-D-Y.
F-I-D-Y.
And then they have a barrel-aged version, which is really hard to find when it comes out. But that's neither here nor there. This has been a fun beer. Scotch Ales, I think it's going to be one that maybe I'll look out for in the future, because I liked this one. You're not so hot on this one.
No, and I think that this is something that, this is something that you would enjoy a lot, I think. Maybe we should try these other ones. What is that?
Saisons before. We've had American Pales before.
No, I mean just these Scotch ales.
Odell Swirling and Alesmith Wee Heavy Scotch Ale.
Yeah, that's what they're called in Scotland. Wee Heavies. They're just little heavies.
Just little ones.
That makes sense because the ABV's high. And they're light though. It's a Wee Heavy.
Just a Wee Heavy. That's going to do it for today's beer review. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe. If you have any recommendations for Scotch Ales, let us know down in the comments below. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you can be notified when we upload new videos. And until next time, we're the Brewmatures, trying every beer from around the world. One sip at a time.
The Lahontan Tweed
Tweed
Chub.
Chub.